over the years they get jaded. They don't think that it's going to happen to them, but that's when things turns the worst, when you don't think it's going to happen to you. And I've seen it too many times.
So what do you think of like those fat cops that look at you and go, "Hey, me and you, same guys." Welcome back to the third installment of this Care for Boys episode featuring Trung Nguyen.
Hey!
Thank you, guys. We, if you guys have been following along the first two, we are now getting to the point where Trung enters SWAT, Chicago SWAT. What was it like to get into that?
It was another selection too. You couldn't try out until you did 3 years as a police officer.
So you have to do mandatory 3 years.
They didn't even count your time in LA.
They don't give a fuck.
They don't care. They're like, so that's LA policing. We do Chicago policing different.
Yep.
Is it because it's like every state has different laws, so you have to learn the stuff from each state?
You know, honestly, when you get into that level of like trying out for SWAT, I really think like if you are prior military and stuff, like all that should be waived. Because you kind of already have like a kind of understanding of what is needed for that type of small unit, environment. But Chicago being the Chicago way, they wouldn't waive it. They don't give a fuck. I know there's certain departments that would. If they find out that you're prior service, especially if you're prior special operations, they'll waive that time frame. They're like, yeah, let's get this guy in. Illinois State Police does that. And their whole training regiment was made from a Delta Force guy. So they hired a Delta Force guy to come in to oversee their pipeline, and that's one of their requirements. Like, hey, if you're prior to special operations, we're waiving your fucking highway time. You can fucking try out 6 months.
Yeah, because it's almost like a waste of time to just drive from black and white.
It's more incentive for them because they want the better guys in doing those jobs.
I couldn't join till year 5 because when I joined. At that time, they were testing every 3 years. So by the time they test around, I only had 2 years in.
Right. Damn.
So I literally had to wait an extra fucking 3 years. So year 5 into Chicago was when I was able to get my shot at it.
What was their selection like?
Their selection was...
Was it like the TV show or the movie?
Yeah.
They got a swim test. They got a height and confinement test. And, they got a rifle school. They got an obstacle course. They got you got to do 2 pull-ups with a 25-pound vest, stuff like that. Like their own little selection in there.
Dude.
Yeah, our class at the time when they opened it up again, there was about 175 cops, and out of there they got like 12 of us.
Whoa, yeah. The others just didn't make it?
Yeah, they failed either the pistol test, they failed either rifle school. They either failed the swim test. We started losing people, but the most of the time that we lost was during the tactic phase. Like when you start entering, like, and how to take a room, how to do all that stuff.
What do they do? Friendly fire and stuff?
Yeah, just stand right there and shoot you in the face.
What is the common way of like that you saw people failing the tactics?
They were not processing the room correctly because under stress and under chaos. It's either you can think through it or you can't. Some people lock up. They don't do their movement correctly. They don't hit their points of domination. And if you guys don't know what points of domination is if you're entering a room, you want to build an L-shaped fighting position towards an enemy. So if this was the bad guy that we're going after, and this L-shape has been used all the way back since Alexander the Great. That's how he conquered so many fucking countries, was he'll push his initial troops head on. Then he'll have another additional troops come and mollywop them from the side. So you know how it's like that whole L-shaped ambush? Yeah. So from that tactic alone, he was able to conquer pretty much all of fucking Asia back then like that, So it's still used to this day, and how that works so well is our mind, we're not John Wick like the movie, right? You're not able to process multiple people at once and be like, bah, 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 bah.
Yeah. You tell me that's fake?
Oh my God, it's so real.
So when you watch those movies, like I know it's like fun as entertainment, but do you like just go like, oh my God, dude?
Yeah, a lot of it's like just for like entertainment purposes.
You never shot someone like this?
Yeah.
I shot somebody like this.
Oh wow! Yeah. Oh shit, that's a dance.
They cut it with their teeth.
Right between the ball sack. Yes. No, but yeah. So, for example, let's say if I enter this room,
Kalyne.
if somebody enters this room, your first initial process is to track him or her.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, that's going to be your focus.
For your focus, and the other person is going to go the opposite side. So now you have to pick one.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I mean, you can't be like, boom at the same time. You know, you got. Yeah, you have to.
Is that called flanking?
I thought flanking's from the
something-
back.
Yeah, flank is from the side or from the back.
Right. Okay.
This is more like, hey, overloading their sensory, overloading their OODA loop, because you're having multiple people enter the room, one side, the other side. So they're like, what the fuck?
It's like whack-a-mole.
So yeah, so you have to process, right? And that's the thing that people don't understand. How do you win a gunfight? The person who can out-process the other person is who's going to be the one who wins. So how does that work? I see you, my brain recognizes you as a threat. I pull my gun out, I shoot. That is the whole processing system. Now, if I can out-process you, by the time you want to shoot me, my buddy already shot you. Because by the time I decided who I wanted to shoot,
It's too late.
it's too fucking late.
Do regular cops also do that when they're trying to like apprehend like a crazy guy? That's like
It really depends on the police department, on their training level. Some are better trained than others, but they would try to build an L shape, or they will try to build something called a V. You know what I mean? So it'll be like, the dude's here, I'm here, you're here. So now we're talking to this individual. Now he has to concentrate on one of us. And if he's like resisting arrest or he doesn't want to go to fucking jail, one of us got to be the less lethal officer, right? Get the taser ready, get the mace ready. So this guy's talking to him like, hey, put your hand behind your back. So he's occupying him. He's like, no, I ain't going to fucking jail. And he starts to approach my partner with balled fists. That falls under the law of, hey, my use of force, then I can use my taser and tase him and whatnot.
So how is it once you finally get selected for SWAT?
Yeah.
What's the first thing they do? Like now, like hey, you're in.
You're a new fucking guy again. You know what I mean? Yeah,
You get hazed all over.
it's different.
It used to be the new guy.
Oh yeah, you're a fucking new guy. You carry the breaching equipment. You're doing all the bitch work. You're getting the Bearcat ready. You're doing all that. You know, learning the ropes, driving the Bearcat. That's the first thing you do as a SWAT dude. You think like, oh, I made SWAT, I get to kick indoors. No, you're driving the motherfucking Bearcat.
Is the Bearcat the big vehicle that's like armored?
Yep. And the reason why is like, they want you to learn the streets. They want you to see how their team does the hit on the house. So getting the Bearcat to the right house is very important.
Do you stay in the car?
You have to stay in the car. You have to stay in the Bearcat. You're the fucking new guy. Hey, move the Bearcat up a little bit, because there's a guy up there with a rifle, right? All right, give me that position. Move it up a little bit. Turn the spotlight towards these windows. You know, stuff like that. So,
With your experience in special operations, when you got to the SWAT team, where would you say your tactical expertise was? Was it closer to the top or like in the middle? Was like everyone special ops in there prior?
no. A lot of guys were just regular guys, regular cops, regular civilians. You know.
That worked their way up?
Yeah, work their way up. So you don't have to be prior military to join the SWAT team. You just got to have that mindset and be able to process and think under stress. If you're able to do all that, then you have a good chance of making the team.
So even you as a special ops vet, they didn't give you any special treatment at all? They weren't like, wow.
Yeah.
They weren't fanboying like, how is it over there?
I would have.
Can you teach me some tricks?
I think it was the other way. I was getting shit talked on more because, you know, at the time I had my Instagram page and they're like, oh, this guy coming in, blah, blah, you know, it's Instagram page, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, there's clicks inside. Trust me, it's not what you think it is. It's not thinking 65 guys on the SWAT team, everybody's fucking brother, love each other. No, it's none of that shit. There's cliques in there too. There's people who stick together, people who talk shit. It's like that, man. And I just gotta shut the fuck up. My first couple of years, I came in there, I act like a fucking new guy. I didn't come in there with any chip, even though I trained constantly for that 5 years, going to outside schools on my own dime to keep my skills sharp.
Damn.
And it shows, like, and I tell people, if you want something, no matter what profession it is, if you practice, you learn, you keep that skill set, and by the time you get there, you'll crush it. And I crushed the whole fucking thing because I prepared.
Nice.
You know what I mean? There's people who didn't prepare, who just showed up the next day. Oh yeah, I'm gonna try for SWAT. And they fucking failed right away. Yeah, what do you think? You know what I mean? Like, you gotta prepare, man. What went wrong?
The test shouldn't be your practice.
And probably early on, there's like almost like a stigma for social media in like a very high testosterone place. Because I was in the reserves when I was first doing our JK stuff.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, Kwan, what the fuck are you doing, Kwan? But then now it's, man, I knew Kwan the whole time, dude. Kwan was a dope. You know, I'm like, but at that time it's like, what is this? The F word doing on social media all the time. Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
I mean, I think police departments, they miss an opportunity with, like, you know, certain individuals. If you're representing the police force in a positive light, you're actually a better recruiter than the actual motherfucking recruiters. You know what I mean? Same thing for the Army. Like, there were so many people who DM me like, hey man, thanks to you, I joined the military. You know what I mean? We are the recruiters for the fucking recruiters, because they see what you did. Like, oh my God, Bart was
pointing to you.
Yeah, they're like, Bart was a fucking. He was in the Marines. He did this. Look what he's doing
Holding
now.
a bear hat now.
Like, polar bear hat guy. Polar bear hat guy.
Look at this gay guy. He did it. Was there anything, like, coming from your background of special ops? Was there any missions that you went on as SWAT that you were like, whoa, that was pretty crazy?
It's just different rules of engagement, you know. Like in the military, it was a lot different than here. Here it's like, now you're, in the end, you're on SWAT, but you're still a cop. You know what I mean? You're a cop. You have to follow the letter of the law. You have to follow the use of force continuum. I can't just go in there and just because somebody has a knife and they're like 10 feet away from me, I can't just shoot them in the face. Though, you know,
Overseas is different, yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean?
Man.
So
Yeah, dude.
yeah, I mean, dude, I remember one SWAT call. We had a long night last night. We went out, and my sergeant was like, man, I'm fucking tired. Let's come in here, do some PT. We'll hang out in the fucking office, and when the next crew come in, we'll get the fuck out of here. A SWAT, it was like 05 in the morning. A SWAT job kicked off about this crazy lady. Her son just recently got shot, right? And he died, and she just went batshit.
Oh,
So,
no.
dude, she stripped butt naked. She had a pickaxe, a little fucking pickaxe, right? And so we rolled on scene. I'm like looking at this lady through her window. She's there butt naked with this fucking pickaxe. And I'm like, God damn it.
What's the protocol?
Yeah, man. So we try to talk her out of it, ma'am. You know, we understand what's going on. You know, try to do all this talk back for it. It went on for hours. It got to a point where the talking doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
And she got like, you know, she's like, fuck this shit. I'm gonna fucking go downstairs. I'm gonna blow this fucking house up. So, you know, she turned on the fucking gas and shit like that. We're like, fuck, we gotta go in now.
Dude.
So we made entry, and she went down to the fucking basement. And dude, this house was the most disgusting fucking house I've ever been in. She threw dog shit, because she let her dog shit in the basement for God knows how long, because she was lobbing dog shit up at us. Oh, shit. I mean, not just one lob of dog shit. I'm talking about like continuous.
She had like unlimited ammo.
Wow.
So dude, we fucking told the TAC team to come in there, hey, here's the fucking shield, block her. I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go in the back.
You guys use the L? You guys use the L?
So that's what I did. So she was distracted, lobbing shit at this fucking dude, right? And I snuck through the fucking back, and I had a taser. I was like, hey, I had my button. I was like, give me your fucking taser, because the back door was open. We breached the back door.
Wow.
So I crept to the back door, and I opened the back door, and then at that time, I saw her do her last dog shit. Then she grabbed the fucking pickaxe and she started whacking the fucking furnace, right? I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to tase this lady right now, or she's gonna blow up this up.
Yeah.
So I snuck in. I had the perfect fucking shot. The fucking two lasers. One was at her titty, and one was at her fucking ribs. I was like, dude, she's gonna go down. I shot it. It went. She looked at it. She ripped it off. I was like, oh my God.
Not enough batteries?
I was like, dude, here's the thing. People think
Was she high on something?
The adrenaline.
the
That's
adrenaline.
Adrenaline.
And some people are not affected by tasers, because you guys gotta understand that tasers don't work 100% of the time. They probably work like 40% of the time.
Really?
Yeah. Same thing with mace. There was guys.
40%?
There was people. There were people in my academy class when we had to get mace, right?
Yeah.
Some of them took it like nothing. Like
Oh yeah.
right in the eye. They're like, me, dude, I was dying. My eyes are small. I got even fucking smaller. I was like, oh my God, dude, it burned the shit out of me. Come to the story. Our taser that we have was we had 2 cartridges. It was a newer model, because the older one only had 1. So I shot her the first time. I was like, dude, she's gonna fucking fall. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna come in and cuff her. I shot her. She didn't go down. I was like, oh my God. So I was like, fuck. So I get ready to shoot her again, and here comes my buddy with the fucking shield. He smashes her against the wall. She's trying to pull off his fucking helmet, right? Then she somehow finagled her way out of the fucking shield. I shot her again. This time on her other titty, but it hit her on this side and on her thigh.
Taser.
Yeah.
This time it incapacitated her longer, enough for us to come and put cuffs on her. Yeah. But the whole fucking time there's dog shit all over the floor. She's trying to fucking bite me. I was like, oh my god, this is
Insane.
It's different, man. Being on SWAT is like, you think it's just you're going after drug dealers, cartel. No, man. A lot of time you're dealing with fucking crazy mentals,
And
man.
that's what most of the time you were dealing with.
People with mental illness. And we would just have to sit out there for hours. We'll lock down the building. We'll sit out there. Negotiators come and talk, and they'll talk the ear off of that individual. Hey, you need to surrender. Hey, surrender. You shouldn't do this. Blah blah blah.
So what's your take on, because now that I know that, seeing how hard it is already for SWAT people to deal with mental issues, what's your take on people that go, no, send a mental health professional instead of cops?
Yeah.
It's kind of a dumb thing.
No. It happened once in this one district that it's the 24th district, and they sent these aid workers, social aid workers, to talk to this lady. Then she had 2 boiling pots of water. Like, get the fuck out! I'm gonna blow this. I'm gonna fucking pour this shit on them. They're like, call SWAT, call the cops.
That's exactly what I imagine happens every time.
Oh my god.
They're not prepared for that.
Bro, and it's different. And we can't just go in there and just kick in the door. And as much as we love to, just end this, we can't.
Yeah.
That call right there, we sat out there for 16 hours, dude.
Wow.
Overtime, baby.
It was, after a certain point, I'm just like, bro, I'm ready to go home, bro. This is like, I'm exhausted.
Did you get lunch break?
Yeah, you get lunch break?
So on the teams, they'll buy like a bag of fucking cheeseburgers from McDonald's. Okay. So that's what we eat.
That's pretty cool.
You guys take turns?
Yeah, take turns. So it sucks.
Jeez.
Are you still with the department now, or?
No.
So now he has his own brand. We go home, and so maybe you could talk a little about that and what it's about.
Yeah. So I started We Go Home when I joined the military. Really happened during my first deployment overseas. I realized, like, hey man, when you train with your guys from your left and right every single day, you bleed with them, you laugh with them, you go through all the bullshit with them, and you're overseas. We didn't care about what was going on back home in terms of like the politician, the politics, the government. The only thing I gave a fuck about was my brothers to my left and right, to make sure that they get home to their friends and family, because that's who I met back then when we were over stateside. I got to meet their kids, got to meet their wives. We hung out, we barbecued, we became a family.
Yeah.
So We Go Home really started from there, and it branched out to from the military to my time in the police department. Hanging out with my partner in my squad car, I got to meet his or her family. And it got to the point where it's just like, hey, it's not about me. It's about those to my left and right, and I'm going to do everything in my power. And that's the message we're trying to push to the people who are in the fire department, in the police force, in the military. Yeah. That hey, when you raise your right hand, you're signing a blank check, right? You don't know when it's not your typical 9 to 5 where you just clock in, go to work. You might get bitched at by your boss, but at least you could get home at the end of the day. When you do this type of job, the day that you walk out, you might not come back. And I've seen it happen so many times. And I'll share you one last story because it's so fucking true. So that's what We Go Home is based on. You have to be physically fit, mentally sharp, and hone your skill set, because it's not about you. It's about those to your left and right. You got to bring your brothers and sisters home and the citizens that you swore to protect. So we started this movement so that we can get these police officers who don't train often, you get them back in the mindset, hey, your uniform is not enough. It might be enough for people who obey you, but when you go against somebody who doesn't obey you, what's going to happen? If you don't take jujitsu, if you don't do PT, if you eat like a piece of shit, now you're fighting for your life. I bet you that moment right there, you wish you had some kind of training, right?
That goes back to the foundation of preparation and being in that moment.
And I'll show you my last story on SWAT that was really effective. We had an active shooter that happened at the Mercy Hospital in Chicago. So there was a doctor working that ER. She got into a domestic with her fiance. She wanted to break up with him. So he's like, okay, let's break up. Meet me out in the front. Give me back my ring. So he called her. She came out from the ER. She, wherever they had a discussion, she gave back her ring, and he pulled out a pistol and he killed her right there.
Jesus.
What?
He smoked her. Then he fucking stood. It's showing the camera. He stood in front of her body. Then cops' car started coming. He started shooting at the cops' car. Then he ran inside the hospital, and he shot these two. I don't know if they were nurse or they worked. I know they worked there. No. They were just getting out of the elevator, and he shot one of them dead. And he shot. Then he turned the gun. There was an officer there named Officer Jimenez. He only had like a couple years on the job. He was either dropping off a prisoner or doing some kind of paperwork for the district that you work in. District is divisions or whatever police department you're at. And he heard the gunfire. So him and our team started responding to that fucking call, and they were following the trail of the gunfire. And they got to a point where it was like a T intersection. So it's like so it's a hallway that leads to another hallway. And that shooter was behind on the opposite side. And one of my team members, he was a sniper, and Officer Jimenez bound across to the next cover. And cover is cover. It means if this wall is concrete, that's cover. That means that rounds can't hit it. So they're bounding to the next area of cover. And as they were bounding, one of the rounds, the dude stuck the gun around and shot, and one of the rounds hit Officer Jimenez right in the jugular. Oh, no. And he bled and died at that very moment in the hospital. Oof. And I guarantee you, when he woke up that morning before he put on a uniform, the last thing he thought of was he's going to die in that hospital. Or in the hospital.
Especially just doing paperwork in the hospital, like, you don't think,
Yeah. You never know.
Yeah. And then we go home is to encourage, and it's a fitness program, and then like a
it's like a nutrition division.
Yeah. So we do all that fitness. We sell apparel and stuff like that.
I see.
We're just trying to push the message for the community to stay sharp, to be better than you were yesterday, because it's not, you can't be selfish. Once you raise your right hand, it's no longer you. It's about everybody else. You're now called for a higher purpose. You better live up to that, and that's what our message is about. Live up to that oath that you swore. Be that person when you raise your right hand, when you're bright eyes, bushy, rookie, recruit, whatever you were. Remember that. Don't lose that, because a lot of people lose that.
Yeah.
Over the years, they get jaded. They don't think that it's going to happen to them, but that's when things turns the worst, when you don't think it's going to happen to you. And I've seen it too many times.
So what do you think of like those fat cops that look at you and go, "Hey, me and you, same guys"?
Yeah, it's disheartening, It really,
yeah, is it because after like boot camp or whatever for like the academy, you don't have to do a physical fitness test so they can get big, or because I always wondered that when there's like,
because so many videos where they can't keep up when they're chasing somebody or they're like falling, and
but then you have to do like
You should do like some sort of like renewal process.
Yeah,
there should be a standard.
Right.
yeah.
And in the Chicago Police Department, you get paid $350 to take a physical fitness test every year, and it's like 20 minutes of your life. Bench press 95 for men, bench press 95% of your weight, and they have a fucking machine. It's not even fucking free weights.
wow.
Touch your fucking, the toe and reach thing. Do 40 sit-ups and run a mile and a half.
Sounds like bare minimum high school like PE class.
The standards is not that high in the police department, and that's a damn shame, especially for what's going on out there.
Absolutely.
I want the best fucking cops to show up when I call 911.
Oh yeah.
I don't want some fat fuck who just finished eating from goddamn Burger King or something show up to my shit all sloppy, uniform, all fucked up. Because there was many of them in the Chicago Police Department, unfortunately.
There's many of them here.
Yeah, we got lots of those.
We've got
He's
plenty
worse.
here. Yeah, way worse.
Bunch of guys shaved head. Sorry, Nick, not you, but you know what I mean. No, just bunch of LAPD dudes. Like they don't know what they're doing half the time. Like all the videos I would watch.
It's hard now, man. I'll be honest. Like now, being a police officer is a lot harder than it was a decade ago.
It's a different game.
It's a different ball field.
Yeah.
No one wants to be a cop anymore.
Yeah.
They're hurting so bad for police officers everywhere because of they don't want to be the next YouTube sensation. They don't want to get sued. They don't want to be
Canceled for
called
doing their job.
They don't want to be called racist. They don't want to be called this and that.
Because they're
It's kind of like counterproductive though, because now you're lowering the standards just to get people in.
100% low understand. Chicago now.
And doing the complete opposite of actually having the proper people in the positions that are supposed to uphold.
They're scraping the barrel now. They're starting to see. Because here's the thing: if I'm intelligent and I'm physically fit and I see what the fuck's going on in the police department, where I'm like, I'm joining a 3-letter agency. Because you never see anything about FBI, CIA. You don't see them under a microscope, right? You only see police departments. They're like, no. Who's watching the Big Brother?
Right.
Because the FBI, if the cops do something bad, the FBI comes and investigates. Who investigates the FBI?
KFC.
UPS.
So yeah, guys, check out. You'll find Trunk's socials in the info below, and when you're on his IG, you can also link over to the We Go Home, all the different accounts on there. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you.
I have an OnlyFans. No, I'm just like I don't.